Don Le Batard.
Kids, listen to me. Every day somebody comes up to me, doctors, lawyers, college students. What do I need to do what you're doing? And the answer to that is hire your father and a troll.
Stugotz.
You literally just told a couple of kids that. I'm not joking.
Yes, I just told a couple of kids that in the hallway. I just realized this is a moment of huge self-loathing because I'm sitting here ripping Will Smith because he's done all of this so much better than I have. He's Will Smith. Look at me, conquering AM radio. It's not exactly the future like Netflix. Will Smith is in bed with an orc and Netflix, and I'm here fighting Rob Manfred with a troll.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Adam Schefter was on with us earlier, and we were talking to him about a variety of things. He really seemed to enjoy talking basketball. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, when I was asking him about his job, and he said that his job is adversarial and that every weekend he's trying to survive his phone not going off with somebody ripping him from football. I'm a journalist, and I was still surprised by that. Or my background is from journalism, and I was still surprised that because I just think of Adam Schefter's relationships as being so solid in that field that at this point he doesn't have to spend a lot of time explaining to sources the journalism of what he does.
But who are the relationships with, I guess, is one of the questions I would have. And then he's reporting stuff that, you know, people might not, even if they're friends with him, hey, don't want you reporting that.
But the reason he knows it is because somebody gave it to him.
I understand
like
that.
Somebody. So, Mike, are you surprised at all?
But if he's friends with the GM and he's getting the information from someone who's not the GM and he's reporting that, then the GM, obviously, okay, he's got his sources, but the GM is then getting mad at Adam. Like, hey, what are you doing, man?
Not at all surprised by that. He's in a relationships business in large part. Journalism's about the relationships you build. And along the way, if you get a story and you have a good relationship with someone and that story didn't come from them and it puts their franchise in a difficult position, he's going to hear about it.
Guillermo, put it on the poll. Are you surprised that Adam Schefter every Sunday gets a call F-bombing him up and down? Because I'm surprised by that. Do you think it happens to Woj? Do you think Adrian Wojnarowski? Do you think he's perpetually taking calls? Do you think Jay Glazer? Jay Glazer's he's an interesting one.
But I'm guessing Glazer gets it as well.
Yes, Glazer gets it, but Glazer treats reporting like MMA fighting. Like Glazer will pick up a phone and just bark right back at Mike Tomlin.
Right.
Like
correct.
If Mike Tomlin is calling Glazer and saying, hey, stop doing that, Glazer will go right back at him twice as hard.
Yeah, don't tell me how to do my job.
That's not how most reporters do it.
I don't think that's how Schefter does it. I mean, I don't think Schefter would do that. I think Schefter, I just cannot imagine, with the limited knowledge I have of Adam Schefter and knowing him just a little bit, I cannot imagine him barking back at Mike Tomlin.
Can I cover something with you here that I think you're going to find funny? Because Jay Glazer has sort of parlayed his colorful cartoon meathead character into a perfect job for it's got to be the perfect media job, right? If for his skill set. Now, keep in mind, Jay Glazer he tried stand-up comedy. It did not work. And Jay Glazer decided, I'm going to get into the reporting business.
I want to hear some of those sets.
I would too. Guillermo, put that on the poll. Would you pay $9.99 for Jay Glazer's comedy stylings? Because I would. I would absolutely.
I think I'd pay more.
I would absolutely pay that. But these reporters, Bomani used to say this all the time, that journalists can be sociopaths. The need to get the news is a particular viral strain of unpleasant, where you're fighting the next guy for the news.
Right.
It's a very unpleasant existence. And so the people who are best at it seem to be, they can be unusual. They can be unusual people because it's a mutating business. And so think about Jay Glazer going from stand-up comedy to now, and we've seen this.
It's Glazer. That's a fun.
What did I call him?
You called him Glazer. You know what you did there?
I called him Joe, too.
Now, you went with Jay. Here's what you did. There was a mix of John Clayton and Jay Glazer, and you called him Jay Glazer.
Are you in agreement with the guys who are the best diehard reporters are a little unusual?
Yes.
whoever you know,
yes,
as whatever you think of the Ian Rappaport schism guy, just whatever you think of the die-hard NFL, NBA baseball reporter is an unusual cat.
Yes, name the normal one. Honestly, I'm not saying that, like, yes, they're unusual. They are. Buster Olney, all these guys. Yes. Who's the most normal, though? Like, who's the coolest of the reporters?
Well, no, I'm not doing. Whoa. You're making it. Wait a minute. There it is. Stugotz just steps on the landmine. I mean, I wasn't saying that these people aren't cool.
Right.
I'm saying they're unusual.
Okay, it's a big difference.
And many of us are unusual. Our entire crew is unusual. But Jay Glazer, the part that I want to talk to you about is how he does his job. What do you imagine? Can you think about, understand what I'm saying? You guys are sitting here looking at me and you're saying, I'm not surprised Adam Schefter has an adversarial relationship
at all
with his sources on Sunday. But now there's a guy out there that's a total loose cannon. Jay Glazer comes from the New York Post. He's like, if Darnell Dockett is messing with Jay Glazer's putting him in a headlock. And I just love the idea of somebody who thinks they're a boss calling Jay Glazer to reprimand him about something that he's reported. And he could just not only beat you up himself, he's going to give the F-bombs back in triplicate. And on top of that, the next time he sees you, he's bringing that meathead incognito with it.
You think they've stopped calling Glazer because of that? Like, what's the point?
What? Don't even yell.
I'm going to curse at him. He's going to curse 5 times back at me. What's the point of calling Glazer?
That's a funny relationship because I've never seen, we've talked about this before. There's been in the information tree in the NFL, and we've got more NFL insiders now than we have NFL news. How many are there? Can you guys give me a number? How many guys are walking around putting on their tax forms NFL insider? What would you,
Schefter, Mort, Rappaport, Louis Riddick.
There's 3 at the MMQB. Don't forget about them.
Peter King.
It's a great business.
Oh, yeah. Florio.
The NFL insider.
Yeah. There's like, it's endless. I'm forgetting the NFL Network, by the way.
La Confora.
Yeah, La Confora.
Did we decide who the schism guy was?
It was proven to be Schefter, but you keep wanting it to be Rappaport.
Why?
I just thought that I think that Rappaport has more recently broken a lot more schism news. I think Schefter, the schism has passed him by.
Right.
And so Schefter used to be the inventor of the locker room schism.
And Rappaport really ran with it.
He was the first follower and then built it into the empire it is today, which is reporting incessantly that the team that is losing, management's not getting along.
Is Chris Sims considered an NFL insider? He breaks down film. He does all that stuff. He does some reporting. There are dozens of them out there. It's a great job. It's a great gig. I want to be an NFL.
Well, this is what I'm asking you, though. What I'm asking you is it? Because I was of the impression that Adam Schefter enjoyed the holy hell out of his job, and it doesn't sound like he does on Sundays.
Seems miserable.
It sounds like if he's looking at his phone waiting for somebody to yell at him, he sounded a hell lot. Man, listen to me. When we asked Adam Schefter some basketball questions, that dude actually started tap dancing. He broke into song and dance because we didn't ask him another one of these insufferable, what do you think about the Jacksonville injury report questions?
When I Google Ian Rappaport schism, no results. When I Google Adam Schefter
everywhere.
Schism, everywhere.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Give me the other NFL reporter that's not Rappaport. Give me the other guy. The guy
that used to be at NFL Network that's probably now at
the NFL Network guy. I think yeah, you might give me a name right now.
The guy that sort of stepped in it on Twitter a couple times.
Oh, is that the Albert Breer?
There you go.
Is he the schism guy? Is Albert? I don't think Albert Breer is the schism guy.
I'm putting it in there.
No, somebody help me. I know one of you have it. One of you guys eat up all these guys have. Don't all these NFL insiders have 1 million, 2 million, 3 million followers?
It's like a very weird thing that you don't want Schefter to be the schism guy.
He wasn't the schism guy the last 5 years. I will not have him be the schism guy the last 5 years. The last 5 years, someone else has broken more schism stories.
Jeff Darlington schism.
I'm doing Jim Trotter.
It's not Trotter either. I'm going to have to give this one up.
I don't think you have to give it up. I'm with you. I don't remember it being Schefter, man.
Josina Anderson? Josina Schism.
It was the Packers locker room, right?
Schism.
Packers locker room? Was it the Vikings?
Rossini. I'm going Rossini now.
Where was the schism, though? Was it in Minnesota?
Minnesota Schism. Word association.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
How do you spell Lakampora? Is there where's the end in Lakampora?
L-A-K.
How many people does the MMQB Schism?
A lot of people out here. My God. Hold on. I found Schism, Minnesota.
Greg Doyle Schism?
Oh, Greg Doyle.
Oh.
Greg Doyle. He does it.
No, it's not Doyle.
It's Doyle? Does he pronounce
Doyle.
it Doyle?
He's not the Schism reporter.
Daniel Jeremiah.
Daniel Jeremiah. No, he's already. No.
He's young.
But he's a draft guy. He wouldn't do that.
Heath Evans.
How many people are employed
James Walker
as remora fish by the NFL, just grabbing information and bringing it to us? What an amazing industry. It sounds like there are thousands of them.
Perhaps it was a hockey guy, E.J. Raddick Schism.
Maybe it was.
Raddick Schism. Schefter, you're going to have to take the L.
Yeah. Schefter.
Time for Dan to reluctantly take part in something Stugotz couldn't be happier doing.
The midweek growth is here at the end of the week on Stugotz because his shaving schedule this week was very confusing.
Lakampora, growing schism in New York.
Lakampora.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Wait, it is Lakampora. Wait a minute. That is who it is. It's Lakampora. He's the schism guy. Check the schisms on Google. Over the last 5 years, I bet you he's got more schisms than Schefter.
2016, he's got a schism in New York.
Yeah.
So they're tied with
No,
schisms.
keep going. I bet you.
You think there's more Lakampora?
No, he went on a burst of schism reports.
Hang on, there might be one.
That's the guy. Let's smoke him out. That's the guy. We got him cornered.
There might be one in Tennessee.
Hold on, I'm checking too. Lakampora, L-O-C-K.
Dollar Shave Club,
Vince
the weekend
Young and the
is
Titans,
here.
There's a schism that's 2 schisms to 1.
2 schisms, you win! Yeah! Eat it, Schefter! The schism has passed you by.
Dan Le Batard.
Bill Belichick has told his players that despite the blizzard that's expected in the New England area, the Patriots will hold its final practices during its playoff bye week. No excuses for being late. Moron.
Stugotz.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't
I
do
mean,
that.
no
Don't
excuses
do
for
that.
being late. I'm sorry.
If he needs it, you got to give it to him. He's helping Bill.
He is displaying behavior, that of a moron. That's all I'm saying. Save it. We're good. You kick, save, and abuse.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We had an unusual moment earlier in the show, or at least it was unusual to me. Maybe you guys found it normal. But I thought I was asking what is a legitimate question. What's going on at the top of the Patriots? I asked Adam Schefter. There's a Seth Wickersham, ESPN The Magazine, well-reported, exhaustive piece. I asked Adam Schefter about it, and his answer was unclear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what's true here, and I don't know who does know what's true here. But what do you do with this? Bill Simmons has now written a column.
Yep.
For The Ringer. He is a Patriots fan. That does not mean that he cannot be objective or discerning, but he is a representative, vocal, strong of Boston, and Boston is perpetually feuding with ESPN for a variety of reasons, much of it having to do with the Patriots.
Right.
And so what Bill Simmons is doing now in print is calling into question in a way that nobody else is doing Seth Wickersham's reporting on this and what might be the exaggerations in the story, according to Bill Simmons.
One of the things that Simmons says, over the past 17 years, the Patriots owner never intervened on anything related to personnel, big, medium, or small. At age 76, after 5 Super Bowls, Kraft suddenly starts ordering the NFL's greatest organizational asset around. Really?
Okay.
So he's questioning.
That's right. Bill's doing that with logic.
Right.
Wickersham was doing it with reporting. I don't know who Bill knows in Boston's organization. And from what I've read here, I don't see reporting, but that doesn't mean there aren't quotes in it. I don't know what he's reported.
What made the news surprising is we're all aware that Kraft has never intervened on anything, especially when you have a coach like Belichick. But they've never had a player like Brady. And Brady is nearing the end. Plus, you had Garoppolo factored in there. Well, it was a big decision.
No, but this is the thing, though. So the thing I want to ask you and the audience is, What's true? Like, we sit here and talk about this story, and right now all of America is filled with just a barrage on the media, fake news. It's just journalism is under siege, fake news. And I'm asking you, when it comes to the most famous team in our most famous sport, how is it that I can ask the question, what's true? We can have all these NFL insiders and no one can answer it for me.
Well, Seth did. I mean,
but what I'm saying is Seth is saying it's so, but now Bill Simmons is saying it's not so.
He's questioning it with logic. I mean, as far as I can see.
But when I ask Adam Schefter what's true, the answer is also not, here's what's true. The answer from Schefter is, I don't know what's happening at the top of that organization.
Here's the reason. I don't know, like, does Seth have the entire truth? I don't know. I think he's closer to the truth than maybe what Bill Simmons believes.
But you want to believe the worst, though. You do want to believe in these kinds of soap opera stories. You always want to believe in the bad behavior of people.
But Dan, here's the thing. Schefter came on the air. He was on all the platforms here at ESPN saying that the Patriots were offered a lot more than a second-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo before the draft.
It's weird. The Garoppolo thing was so weird.
They woke up one morning, decided they want a second-round pick.
That part, that's the domino that caused all the reporting, because it's such a weird thing what the Patriots did. They've got a 40-year-old quarterback. They've got someone we all kind of thought was good behind him who's young. It doesn't make any sense to trade him.
And then the Browns came out. Mike, you saw this. You're a Browns fan. They came out again and reemphasized, we would have given the Patriots more for Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's the part. But again, I ask you, what's true? We've got 1 million NFL insiders. We've got America's most popular sport and its biggest champion. How is it that this can be reported and none of us can answer what is true beyond, hey, that's weird, that Garoppolo trade? Because that's the starting point on all of it. We're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. So does it mean, what's the argument? If Belichick were honest in front of us, what's the argument he could present to us on Garoppolo being traded that would make sense to anyone that people wouldn't call him a liar? What is the thing that he could get in front of the cameras and say, I mean, as a logic that people would accept, okay, that's not weird that they would trade Garoppolo?
I guess for me, it would be if Brady's not done, if we franchise him, we're paying a quarterback $25 million to be Tom Brady's backup. That's not something that we could do. It's not financially prudent. But you knew that before the NFL draft.
But why won't they say that?
Well, because then people will start calling him out, saying, well, hey, you knew that before the draft. Why didn't you take the first-round picks that Cleveland was offering?
Okay, but here is what I would say to you about all of this, why it is that it's interesting and why it is I would like to know the truth. This is the best team. This is the team of our lifetime. Something happened that doesn't make sense in the trading of Garoppolo. It just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Belichick didn't get value back. So what you're telling me is the greatest organization that we know maybe in sports for doing its job is so incompetent that it traded Jimmy Garoppolo in what all of us would view as the worst trade that organization has ever made while Belichick is in charge. And there's no reason for it. It's just that the Patriots are incompetent. It's hard to get there.
It's impossible for me to get there. I am telling you, I believe what Seth Wickersham has reported. Something close to that. I don't know if exactly that.
But
that Brady wanted Garoppolo out and went to Bob Kraft, and Garoppolo's out.
Okay, I'm 3 minutes past beating a dead horse, but how can we find out what the truth is? Like, how is it possible that nobody knows the truth? You don't get to choose fame like a menu item. You don't get to choose the way we cover you. We have more NFL insiders than anybody. Why is it so hard for someone to put in front of us something that we all know is the truth?
I mean, the three guys who you're trying to get the truth from, they don't talk, man.
Yeah. And no one around them talks? Most popular team. Like, I just don't understand in 2018 how we can't cover this team in a way that gets at the truth.
Don Le Batard.
I don't like when, big-time celebrities, they get so big and then they're going to write a children's book. It's an easy cash grab. And quite frankly, I don't need Jack White's advice on how to raise my children. It's annoying. Sorry. Hey, Jack White, please. Let me tell you, the last place I'm going for children advice, for child advice, for parenting advice is to Jack White and his stupid book. Jack White.
Stugotz.
And honestly, who is Jack White? Pretentious Jack White. Hey, I'm going to fire up a children's book. Tell you how to parent your kids. Leave me alone. Just write new songs. Stop writing books. Write new songs.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Chris Sims going to join us in just a second here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Number 47, his 47th best quarterback in the NFL, coming up here in just a minute. Here's your SportsCenter update. 47 more of these to go. Oh, Baghdad Brewski's on the screen.
Oh, what happened? What's Baghdad Brewski doing on the screen? Why? What happened? Did something happen with the Patriots? They had to get Baghdad Brewski?
I don't know,
Just breaking down the playoff game.
Oh, okay. All right. Just general playoff games.
Who do you think he has?
Here's your SportsCenter update.
Teddy, Patriots minus $1 million. I got to go with the Patriots here.
Oh, man. The Charlotte Hornets announced today that Steve Clifford has been medically cleared to return to coaching the team after suffering from severe headaches. A Crimson Tide playbook was stolen from defensive line coach Carl Dunbar 2 days before the national championship. And finally, a TV series based on the movie Snowpiercer has been ordered by TNT.
That was a good movie.
Was it really?
Yeah, Snowpiercer. You'll like Snowpiercer.
You're giving me some good movies.
It's the only time Dan's made a movie recommendation, and I didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Okay.
Is that right?
But I'm in the vast minority of people that have actually watched it.
Oh no, here's the thing though, because I didn't have any expectations for the movie at all. I walked into a theater, didn't know what I was watching, and then it goes on, and that changes everything. If I'm telling you that I think it's great, you're already going in with the expectation that it's going to have to be great.
Right. Shouldn't that change the way you tell me about it, though? Like when you tell me about, hey, Snowpiercer, you might like that.
Okay, you might like that.
Yes.
I should be a little less aggressive with my praise?
Yes,
okay.
yes. I think it's a fair
enough.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
Can I interest you guys in a beef between Oprah and Seal?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? All right, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Chris Sims with us now. The 70th best quarterback in the NFL, according to Chris Sims, is Blake Bortles, and he is right, and he proves it. Chris Sims proves it all the time, every time he comes on here. We're giving him Monday off, taking him out of the prison that we've shackled him in over the course of the last month, and we've only got 2 months to go in this weird exercise where we've got 47, number 47.
We're going to be into spring training when Chris Sims reveals his best
it's going to be almost going to be the baseball season. It's going, not spring training. It might be. Have you tabulated how many days in a row this is? Like, when does this stop?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
I mean, we got 47 more to go.
I think it's right around the Sweet 16.
It's approximately March 15th.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay. All right. No, I'm just in it for whenever you guys, however long you want me. I haven't planned it out. I knew it was going to be awkward, and after the Super Bowl, I offered to maybe do 2 a day.
No, that's all right. We'll
to maybe.
the listeners said they want you every day.
I like the idea of the Elite Eight. Everyone's getting ready for it, and we bring you on to announce your best quarterbacks.
We asked the listeners, we asked them, hey, do you want us to do 2 or 5 in a day so we can move this along? And they're like, no, we want Chris Sims every day. But what we're doing to you is abusive. It's unfair.
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, yeah, it is abusive. I will say this. During the Sims and Lefko podcast the other day on Bleacher Report, sorry for the shameless plug, I did get a text message from Tony Baselli. He told me he still thinks I'm dead wrong about Blake Bortles, but he just wanted to say it was a fun back and forth and that he thinks I do a really good job. So we made up, just in case you guys wanted to know.
Did you just betray him in a private text? Baselli might not want people to know that about you guys repairing your relationship.
Yeah, you're right. He might not have, but I didn't think about that, and I thought it was part of the show anyways. And if he could call in and abuse me, then I can share that.
All right. Very good. Fair enough.
I got a very different response from him, like, yesterday.
Baselli's on the warpath. You got Baselli coming after you. I got Warren Sapp coming after me. Maybe we'll run past each other and they'll block each other. Number 47, Chris Sims. The 47th best quarterback in the NFL is?
Chase Daniels, New Orleans Saints.
Wow, Chase Daniels. That is funny, man.
It is. Ahead of Kellen Clemens, I just learned yesterday that he's still in the league. Teddy Bridgewater, the Vikings' third quarterback. Mark Sanchez, I was not aware that he was still bouncing around. Yep. And Chad Henne. I think that's my favorite one on the whole list so far. Chad Henne at 51, the backup, 19 spots ahead of Blake Bortles. All right, we're going to give you Monday off, Chris. Thank you for making the time for us. Check him out, Bleacher Report. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. See ya.
You too, man.
All right, so what do you got for me on this, Stugotz? We talked about Oprah, Golden Globes. She made a speech that a lot of people were saying was presidential, because, at least in part, because a reality TV star is now president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It was wildly applauded.
It was. It felt presidential. I remember saying to my wife at the time, wow, I'm hearing Oprah in a way I've never heard her before.
Well, how about this, though? Seal did not like it. Seal. He trashed Oprah, which strikes me as odd. And this is what he has to say. And he feels, Mike, tell me that Seal doesn't feel like Stugotz on this one, because you can hear this in Stugotz's voice. In fact, Stugotz, would you be kind enough to read that second story there from the New York Post? Just the quotes from Seal, from his Instagram page, the things that he said, because I heard them in your voice.
Right.
I heard them. So I'll do it first, and then I'll give you a practice run, and then you do it in your voice, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Are you ready?
Yep, you got that little faith in me. Go ahead.
Okay, so we've got the Instagram post, and it's fiery, according to the New York Post.
Yes.
And he's got overlaid photos in all caps over like some photos of Harvey Weinstein, the movie mogul, who is pictured with Oprah Winfrey. When you have been a part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you're the solution. Oh, I forgot. That's right. When he's talking about Weinstein mistreating women. Oh, I forgot. That's right. You've heard the idea that they were getting into. My bad. This is a terrible idea by me, I just realized.
Well, because you're not reading it well. Oh, I forgot. That's right. You've heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young, starry-eyed actresses who, in turn, had no idea what they were getting into. My bad.
You did do that better than I did.
Yep.
Blaming Oprah Winfrey for not stopping Harvey Weinstein? Honestly, what is Seal doing?
Well,
for taking pictures with Harvey Weinstein?
Well, time out. There are a lot of people who feel like, okay, it is easy to jump on Ratner and Harvey Weinstein now because everyone is.
And it is easy.
And I have thought to myself at times, are you telling me that other people didn't know this was going on in Hollywood with these two guys in particular for this long? No one knew, and no one had the guts to step up and say something.
That's why I think this sounds like you. This is why I think Seal sounds like you.
But he could be right. Seal could be right.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not ripping Seal. I just find it unusual. I'm not going to rip Seal. What am I ripping Seal for?
Like, I have a hard time. Well, you said, what is Seal doing here? But I have a hard time.
I am asking you what he's doing
and
here.
I'm explaining to you, a lot of people, like for me, I have a hard time. I know Matt Damon and Harvey Weinstein had a relationship. I think Harvey Weinstein made many of his movies. I have a hard time believing that Matt Damon never heard a single thing about anything that Harvey was doing.
That's what Seal is saying.
Okay, and if he did and didn't do anything about it, then shame on Matt Damon.
I just Googled Seal and Kevin Spacey. I found a picture of them together.
No way.
Uh-oh.
See, there you go. But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Mike, Seal isn't standing up and delivering some sort of presidential speech about what we need to do to clean the whole thing up. I think he's saying, hey, we all knew what was going on here.
It'd be weird. Well, because he's not from this country, he can't run.
Oh, right. Well, you know what I mean.
That's why it'd be weird.
Nowadays, man.
President Seal.
Well, no, you guys do realize, right? You guys do realize that we are not too many steps when we're talking about Oprah Winfrey for president, or when we're talking about The Rock for president. We are not that far from the idea of the actual president from Idiocracy being our actual president. Like Terry Crews is running. Terry Crews right now is running on a platform of I Understand Women. You guys realize how close we are to having actually the president of Idiocracy being the president of our country.
I'm not sure where the line is in terms of getting legit credibility for a presidential run. It may be Stugotz, because if Mike Greenberg today announced he was running for president, people I think would take it seriously and start asking him about his platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he totally thinks he's capable of doing it.
Should I run?
As a write-in candidate?
I'd run on a platform of having the Super Bowl on a Saturday.
You know what? You know what? Yes. Find out if we announce Stugotz's presidential bid next.
Don Le Batard.
It's Friday. I'm getting into the weekend. I want to get my drink on.
Stugotz.
We've got to open up the club. Open it. Open it. Open it! Now! What is the computer buffering? There it is.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Thank you for all of you who wrote in that we missed a seal of approval joke.
Yeah. It hurt us. We were all hurt by it. We saw
like,
it.
Oh, it was right there. All right, let's update the polls before we open up the club. The club is the way we end every week and send you into the weekend. But before we do that, at Le Batard Show on Twitter.
Do you know that Dan is a caring person? Guys, this has never happened before. Never happened. And we are approaching 10,000 votes on this. Never, ever happened.
What? What are you talking about?
What? Think what?
Really? What could it possibly be?
Spoiler alert, Dan.
What could it be possibly?
50-50?
No way. That's not right. That can't be true.
50% of the audience said yes.
I am a caring person.
50% of the audience said
no. All right, let's keep it moving.
Could the average 6'1" schlub in the stands have 3 rebounds and 1 assist in an NBA game if he's just running around with no aim or purpose for 30-plus minutes?
That is what LeBron had last night. 3 rebounds, 1 assist.
70% of the audience said yes. We were laughing before because I always say I can hit a 3 in a game, and now all of a sudden you're the guy who can just waltz around and get 3 rebounds.
I'm just saying a bounce here and there. I'm going to catch something.
Do you think that Stugotz actually dreams at night of having opinions?
Stugotz, I'm just going to be, it's a missed free throw. It's all I'm grabbing.
I know. It's a big difference between that and me hitting a couple of buckets in a game.
There are other people around who are not shaped like you.
I know. No, I know.
And
but
you needed to do that 3 times.
No, I can box someone out on a missed free throw. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Le Batard Show. No, wait a minute. No, but they've got to be behaving. They can't know that I'm a weakness.
They got to let you.
They've got to be behaving the way they normally behave. I can't have Tyson Chandler try to push me out of the paint. He's got to just jog back because he knew the free throw was going to be, and I'm going to snatch it down, and I'm going to scream at everybody, mine!
How are we going to do that where he doesn't know that you're...
Right, that's problematic. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that is so funny. Does Stugotz actually have dreams at night of having opinions? 85% of the audience said yes. Yeah. Is Dan badgering poor, lovable Adam Schefter?
I was.
85% of the audience agreed. Do you think Dan becoming the evangelical, did I say it right?
Close
evangelical,
enough.
it was
Close
so
enough.
good. Evangelical pastor of sports is a good evolution for the show. 52% of the audience said no.
No.
Are you surprised that every Sunday Adam Schefter gets a call F-bombing him up and down? Cue up the Liam, Mike. 58% of the audience said
no.
Would you pay $9.99 for Jay Glazer's comedy stylings? 86% of the audience said
no.
That's a shocker, yes.
It was no?
Yes.
You guys voted no on that?
Yeah, I did it. I voted yes.
No. Let's open up the club, Mike. Send us into the weekend. Send us into it. Send us into it now.
No.
Now, I said.
No.
Now.
No.
That, of course, is Liam Neeson.
Perhaps the price was set too high, $9.99. I mean,
is that the problem?
Yeah, Glazer.
All right, reduce rates right now on Jay Glazer's comedy stylings. First sound in the club is...
Was it Taco Villanueva? Tago.
That was this week. That is something that happened earlier this week. Alabama won the title. That happened this week.
Was it Taco Villanueva? Tago.
All of sports couldn't learn how to pronounce his name that night. What else we got?
Starbuck and Bradshaw.
Yeah, that's the good radio we did this week. Do it again.
Starbuck and Bradshaw.
That's it. That was Stugotz breaking down the Cowboys Steelers Super Bowls of the glory days.
Why? Starbuck and Bradshaw.
Who else is in the club?
This is a big effing deal.
Mark Davis.
Oh, that guy is such a creeper. That was so strange.
This is a big effing deal.
John Gruden looks so much like him. So much like him. Mark Davis badly looks in a mirror and wants to see John Gruden staring back at him. He's chased him for 6 years. Who else we got in the club?
Thing I appreciate about him, besides his big
Oh, Mike Zimmer giggling is nice. It's a delight. Tickle Mike Zimmer some more, Mike. Tickle him. Now it's a party. Now it's a party in the club. No. That is the most, is it or is it not the most joy Mike Zimmer has ever shown? No. That is incorrect. No. You're wrong. No. Who else in the club?
You know what song he's singing?
What song?
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That is not a real song.
That was on CNN.
Chris Cuomo got a prime.
That's right. That's Cuomo parlayed that into them.
That is not a real song.
A media empire. You got LeVar Ball. You got him. It's not a real song. Who else is in the club?
Listen, you pay someone some money, you say, hey, I got a problem with this guy over here. Yeah. End of game. End of the deal, man.
Yeah, Vinny. Yeah, stereotypical Vinny told us how to get a hitman. Who else in the club?
Thanks, David.
You're welcome, Liam.
No.
Stop yelling at me.
No.